welcome back to my channel and welcome to another drugstore versus high-end. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Melissa and I have an entire series where I compare drugstore products to my favorite high-end products. So today's video is going to be blush related. In my last video I asked you guys what you wanted me to compare next and a bunch of you said blush and I was so excited because blush is my favorite. So a couple of months ago I hauled this product right here. So this is the Covergirl Trublend blush in the color medium rose. This is the medium toned one. They do have 2 or 3 others, but this is the medium toned one. And as soon as I bought this, I knew exactly what it reminded me of. But just to be sure, I went through my entire blush collection of like 87 blushes, swatched to death, and I was completely right. This reminds me so much of the Hourglass blushes. So these are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes. So just to give you a little bit of background on these, I think I made an entire video about these. I'll link it down below if I did. Is that bad? I don't remember. But these are by the brand Hourglass Cosmetics, and they are a blush color with ambient lighting powder kind of woven or swirled within the color pigment. And the ambient lighting powders are a really unique and awesome product, whereas they mimic the effects of various tones and shades of light. So for example, dim light is supposed to mimic the effect of being in dim light. Incandescent light, there's luminous light, there's a whole bunch of different products that they have that like mimic the effect of different types of lighting. And so when they came out with blushes, I was like so obsessed. I love these blushes. They are one of my favorite blushes ever. The Covergirl one looks exactly like the Hourglass ones, where it has like a color pigment in it, and then it has like this kind of shimmery or like satined flesh toned product kind of woven within it. It doesn't specifically say ambient light, but girl, it looks just like those blushes. So here's what they look like up close. This is the Covergirl one. This is the Hourglass one. You can see they both have like pigmented color mixed with like an ambient lighting kind of flesh toned color. They also swatch pretty similarly. So this one, the Covergirl one, is surprisingly very soft and very blendable for a drugstore product. I find that most drugstore blushes are really chalky, and when you apply them to your cheeks, they're really powdery, they don't really blend very well, and then they wear off within like an hour of application. This blush I don't have that with. I feel like it wears, you know, maybe not as long as a high-end blush, but it wears for a few good hours, and it's very, very blendable. So here's what it looks like, and here is what a swatch of that looks like. So I had a little bit of trouble. You can see it turns into this very pretty kind of like mauvey, dusty rose color. So I was torn between, okay, does this look more like Hourglass Luminous Flush or Hourglass Mood Exposure, because it's kind of in the middle of the two. So you can see Mood Exposure is more of like a plummy color and Luminous Flush is more of like a pinky color. So I was really torn as to which one it looks like most. So I'll swatch for you guys so you can see why I was so torn. So Mood Exposure I will put on this side, and then Luminous Flush I will put on this side. So this is Mood Exposure, this is Covergirl's Medium Rose, and this is Luminous Flush. So I ended up deciding that it looks most like Mood Exposure if I can sheer it out a little bit, because Luminous Flush is very, very pink and Medium Rose is a little bit more on the kind of nudish mauve side. So both products have this beautiful kind of iridescent, non-glittery, non-shimmery like finish to them, and they are so beautiful on the cheeks, but I have never tried them side by side before, so that is what I'm going to do with you guys today. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, so high end, I always put on my left side. I don't know why, but I just do. So again, I'm going to try to go in with a lighter hand with Mood Exposure just so it kind of can match the tone of the Covergirl one a little bit better. So this is one of my favorite blushes. I just love the way it looks. It's probably more appropriate for like fall time, but you can wear it whenever you want to. So there's what it looks looks like. You can tell it has just like this beautiful kind of iridescence. Oh, I'm moving my head like this so you can see the different dimensions of it. But iridescent kind of finish to it. I'm not wearing any highlighter at all. I always put highlighter on after blush, so I'm not wearing any highlighter. And you can see it just looks so pretty. One of my favorite blushes. So now I'm going to go in on the right side and put it on the Covergirl one. So here we go. Oh, that actually came off a lot darker on my cheeks than it did in the swatch. I like it though. I actually think I went in a little bit more heavy-handed with the Covergirl one, so I'm going to go in back to Mood Exposure and just apply a little bit more so that way they're even. Okay, so here's what the Covergirl one looks like. You can see it has that same kind of dimensional, like glowy finish. Again, no highlighter, but it just gives off this like beautiful kind of glow. Alright guys, I'm gonna be honest, I cannot tell the difference between either one of these. If I didn't specifically know this side was Hourglass and this side was Covergirl, like you can't even tell I'm wearing two different blushes. These look identical. Holy cow, Covergirl, you knocked it out of the park with this blush. It is so beautiful. They both have that same glowy finish. They both look very similar. I mean, this one is a little bit more rosy than Mood Exposure, but that might have to do with the fact that Mood Exposure is a little bit more plummy. But other than that, these look almost identical. I will say the wear time of the Hourglass one is a little bit longer, a few hours longer than the Covergirl one, because I've worn both of these to death. But side by side, you can't even tell the difference. I'm gonna go film a bunch more videos with my makeup just like this, and I'll bet nobody will say a thing. So to conclude, by the way, Hourglass blushes are super expensive. I think they're in the $40 range. They are probably one of the most expensive blushes that I own, but I love them to death. The Covergirl one was, I think it was like $8. I will link both of them down below if you want to check them out, but $8 compared to $40, are you kidding me? In conclusion, if you don't own the Hourglass blush already, don't buy it. Go buy the Covergirl one. It is just as good. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Alright guys, if you like these kind of comparison videos, I will link my playlist down below so you can check out more drugstore versus high-end. Let me know what you want me to test out next. I haven't done foundation or highlighters or bronzers. I was also thinking of doing like brushes. I have two bronzer brushes that pretty much look exactly the same, so I was thinking about testing those out. So let me know down below what you want me to test out next for drugstore versus high-end, and I will definitely do that for you. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you next time. Bye guys!